Anyway, I'm a co-owner of Glanz Richman Rehabilitation Associates, and our company has been in business since the 1980s. I was in private practice a few years before that, and I'm an occupational therapist, and our business originally was just occupational therapy services, and then we grew and incorporated PT and speech and social work and therapeutic rec, and now those are the things that we provide. And we provide direct services where we have therapists in buildings, and we also provide consultation. And originally, most of our business was probably consultation business. But now I'm going to give you the backstory. I think all of you have seen me knitting at meetings. A lot of occupational therapists knit. A lot of occupational therapists do a lot of task things because we went to school and we learned how to do those things so we could do them with patients for rehab. But my story goes back further. I was taught to knit by my fourth grade teacher, Miss Hantover, who taught the entire class to knit because she realized if you were busy with your fingers, you weren't necessarily busy with your mouth. And so when the class got disruptive, Miss Hantover would say, take out your needles, and everybody would knit and the class would calm down. And I knit because it keeps me focused and it keeps me awake. But years later, Miss Hantover became one of my patients. And I got very excited. I went into a room and I said, Miss Hantover, I have knitting needles, I have yarn in all sorts of different colors. What are we going to work on today? And she said, dearie, not on your life am I going to knit. And luckily, I had been an occupational therapist for many years by that time, so I wasn't daunted, and we went on to other purposeful pursuits. And that's really what we're all about, is doing what the client needs in order to stay involved in their life the way they want to be and do purposeful kinds of things. But anyway, our consultation services primarily was rehab departments and activity departments. And that's diminished because the state law changed and they don't need occupational therapists to do those things anymore. But we do a lot of staff development, and particularly with dementia care and dealing with challenging behaviors, facilitating activities of daily living, such as eating and bathing and dressing, getting people to do it for themselves as much as they can, or if they can't, at least not be disruptive and abusive to staff while those necessary things need to be done. We also do environmental modifications that will influence how people behave in assisted living and in nursing homes. How the environment is structured and what they are able to do with independence and get around, and things that are visible to them change the way they act and the way they interact with their environment. We also do establishing group programs for fitness, particularly specialty programs for people that have Parkinson's or people that are arthritic. We can do a lot with exercise and programs. We also do a lot with balance and exercise and fear of falling. We do a lot in fall prevention programs, and our fall prevention programs range from community-based programs to skilled nursing and assisted living, but they're extremely important programs for because the number of people that fall and die from falls every year is really astounding. We do, let's see what else ergonomics programs, where we teach staff how to move people safely and with using good body mechanics so they don't injure themselves. So that's another program that we do. And for the community-based people, we do programs on aging in place and how to have a home that's safe, and getting rid of the throw rugs, getting rid of the electrical cords, clearing out the boxes. Marnie, I know you don't leave people with boxes when you've moved them into one place, but I see a lot of boxes, and I see a lot. Well, I had a neighbor who was a hoarder, and she had so many stacks of newspapers that she could barely walk. And I'm sure you go into apartments that are like that, Marnie. And we were afraid because her house was fairly close to ours. We were afraid that she was a fire hazard. And because she was a fire hazard, we would be a fire hazard. So anyway, and so we do a lot of programs on the aging as a normal process and what we can do to maintain our independence as we age. So that's basically it. Anybody want to ask any questions? I may try and answer them. With voting, I'll tell you another great voting story. I was in one of my homes, I was a consultant at that was in my neighborhood. And voting is a primary occupation for a lot of people. And I felt very strongly that all the people in this nursing home needed to be registered, and we would talk about candidates and we would vote. So I duly got everybody registered. I got judges that were going to come in on a day that we could vote people. And I decided to reach out to the candidates in our community that were running for city council, and give them, tell them that they could come in and address the residents and talk to them about what they plan to do in Highland Park. And they chose their times to come in, and most of them came in the day or two before we were going to vote, except one candidate came in the morning of the day we were going to vote. And that candidate brought in donuts. Guess what candidate carried our nursing home? And because, we're in a small community and this was a large percentage, the nursing home residents were a large percentage of the voting community, that candidate won based on the votes from the nursing home. So that just goes to show you got good intentions, but there's always unintended consequences. Okay, that's my voting story for the day. So thank you all.